Hello, everyone. This is the Highlander of the Highlander Wrestling Show. I'm going to talk about wrestlers, the most unusual wrestlers out there. Guys like Kamala. You had One Man Gang, the Great Kabuki, the Great Muta. You had Mankind, Abdul the Butcher. Uh, you had a bunch of the Missing Link. Uh, George the Animal Steel. You had a guy from I believe he was from the 1940s and 50s. He was called the French Angel. I don't really know that much about him, but I want to go ahead and mention his name anyway. Uh, let's see. During WCCW back in the 80s, the Missing Link went up against Junkyard Dog. And for most of you out there that's watched this video, the Missing Link used to have his face was painted green. He had blue paint around his eyes. Of course, his face was painted green. That's why. And he had this big wad of mess of hair in the back, and he had a little bit of a line going across his hair where he cut his hair like that, shaved it back. But he would grab the back of his hair with his hand and then do a flying headbutt. Why, I have no idea, but that was very cool. He would always do the flying headbutt and everything, and he would, every time he would headbutt Junkyard Dog, it would knock Missing Link for a loop because Junkyard Dog has a hard head, which that's one thing he was known for headbutting. You had, let's see, another match in WCCWs were two of them, one of the most unusual wrestlers. You had the Uganda Giant Kamala against the Great Kabuki, which was a very good, match. It was unusual for the period of time, which wrestling today has lost really a lot of their art and originality and stuff of wrestling. They think people ain't gonna like this and like that. Things have changed, which it changed, but wrestling is not actually supposed to be a realistic situation, which it has not got the respect that it has deserves even to this day, because people, they watched Beyond the Mat, and Beyond the Mat told the story of pro wrestling, but it didn't tell you the exact whole story. There's a lot of stuff that even I don't know what goes on in pro wrestling. But anyway, that's best left unknown, because then again, it wouldn't be fun to watch. Anyway, you had some other wrestlers, the Moondogs. You had Moondog King, Moondog Rex. That's Moondog King was Moondog Rex, excuse me. And you had Moondog Spot and Moondog Spike, which, they were some wild-looking characters. I don't remember where they was supposed to be battling from. I want to say maybe out in the swampy areas. They were just unusual. They just, had a big run in the World Wrestling Federation. They was managed by Mr. Fuji for a little bit. And let's see. You had Mankind, which is known as Cactus Jack, Dude Love, Mick Foley, Mankind. He was one of those. He was a hardcore legend. He was wild. You never know what he was going to do. Him and Abdul the Butcher's had a lot of big matches. Him and Terry Funk has had a lot of big matches in Japan. The whole hardcore wrestling was a big deal in Japan, even over here during the 90s and stuff. But yeah, Cactus Jack, he's a Hall of Famer. He's wrote a book. He went through that Mr. Sacco scene in WWF, or WWE, excuse me. He has a lot of good matches in Japan. Let's see, you had, a while ago I was talking about Abdul the Butcher. He had done so many scars on his head that his head looked like it's been through a meat grinder, which he was always a cool wrestler to see, because he always have spike or a fork or something he would hide on him when he'll be out there in the ring. He used that a lot with Bruiser Brody because him and Bruiser Brody had a lot of big matches back in the 80s and everything. And he had a match with Zeus from No Hose Bar. And I'm trying to remember what else he went by too, but I just remember him as Zeus. And No Hose Bar in the WWF for a short period. But yeah, Abdul the Butcher was a bloodthirsty person in pro wrestling, like Bruiser Brody and Terry Funk and Cactus Jack and all that. But yeah, Abdul the Butcher, he's hardcore. Oh, let's see, I know I'm forgetting somebody else. Oh yeah, the One Man Gang. You know, he had the mohawk and like he had tattoos on each side of his head. And he brought out a chain and he did a lot of big stuff in the World Wrestling Federation and WCCW and a bunch of other organizations. WCW, he went by Rakim for a little bit in WWF, which that just wasn't him. But One Man Gang was cool. Uh, and let's see. Oh yeah, we had Bruiser Brody was another unusual wrestler. He had the fur around his boots, and he wore a fur vest, and he had the chain and everything, which is where the Berserker from the WWF got his look from. He did the exact same thing, which found out that Berserker was a big Bruiser Brody fan, or John Nord is what he went by in the AWA. Uh, but yeah, that was another good legend. He was murdered, unfortunately, back in 1988. Uh, I remember when they was talking about that because I was real small. I always thought Bruiser Brody was cool. Let's see, we also had we got Kane. He wore a mask. He was the devil's favorite demon in WWF WWE. He's a legend. He's the mayor, I believe, of Knox. No, anyway, he's over some part in Knoxville, Tennessee. Oh, but the name escapes me for this very moment. I ain't gonna sit here and rattle off on it. Uh, but yeah, we there was a lot of big unusual style wrestlers. You just don't see unusual no more. They're trying to do the Fiend and everything else nowadays, but that's just not really what I consider to be unusual. Uh, anyway, well, yeah, and we had Jake the Snake Robert. You know, he brought out the snakes, and he was a big name, big superstar, very cool person, from what I understand. I love to listen to his stories on YouTube, watching his stories he always talks about. But yeah, that was when I was growing up, and people my age and older, we had a lot of cool stuff to see in pro wrestling. Well, if you're going to get down to it, Big Van Vader was an unusual wrestler. You know, he started out in Japan. He had the helmet and the shoulder pad built on, and it was like a woolly mammoth type uh, helmet, you know, that had steam shooting out and all that, which was very cool. He was very unusual. That was a big man for his size to do a backflip off the top rope like he did. Very impressive. Um, let's see. I'm pretty sure I'm forgetting some other guys, but I'm trying to, do the best I can with the most unusual wrestlers. Hope everybody out there is enjoying it. You had, you had a couple of those masked wrestlers, like the mask Mauro Masters, I think is how you say it. He was a luchador type wrestler. He was very unusual for his period of time. Mr. Wrestler was an unusual wrestler. Uh, you had guys like, yeah, you had the Kamala 2. he was, a very unusual looking wrestler, and you had the Grand Wizard, which was an unusual manager, wore the turban and the big sunglasses and everything, and he managed guys like Superstar Billy Graham, and I believe that Don Morocco was one of his last of many ones he's managed, or one of them. I don't know if that was the actual last one, uh, but yeah, there was a lot of well, uh, well, like I said, wrestling don't have that imagination no more. It's like unusual things are it's become a thing of the past. Well, the Ultimo Dragon, he was a unusual wrestler. You had the Black Dragon, and you had let's see, you had one guy I remember. Oh yeah, Bashin' Booger. He was a very unusual wrestler. You had Bam Bam Bigelow, very unusual. He could do cartwheels. He's had a lot of big matches in WWF, and his one of my favorite matches he ever did was when he was in ECW against Taz, which Taz is another unusual wrestler. Oh, the Tazmatic, he went by that as for a little bit. Then he just went as Taz. Oh, but anyway, oh, I want y'all to look out for my next video. It's going to be about the Road Warriors, Hawk and Animal. Um, May Animal rest in peace. Him and Hawk are back in heaven. They probably got a good wrestling going on right now in the ring with the other great ones that went before them. They're back together as a tag team. Oh, y'all watch out for that video. It'll be coming up real soon, right behind this one. Uh, when y'all are in the Mississippi area, you want to see local pro wrestling, make sure you hit SWA Battle Zone Championship Wrestling, BLW in Brookhaven. You keep an eye out on my friend of mine, Ultimo Gallows videos. He's always got new videos popping up. And everybody, take care, and hope y'all enjoy this video. Got any comments, leave them here, and I will try to get back with y'all real soon. So, y'all have a great night.